Welcome to No Title Needed, a podcast for emerging leaders. Whether you're just starting your leadership journey, figuring out where to land next, or climbing the corporate ladder. I'm your host, Shamara Pope, leadership coach and advocate for leadership development at every stage and every station in the workplace. In my last episode, my goal was to convince listeners that coaching is indeed for everyone. In this episode, I'll share 4 steps on how emerging leaders can find the right coach. When you're just stepping into leadership, it can feel like everyone else has a mentor, a sponsor, or a coach. But here's the truth. Coaching isn't just for CEOs. It's for emerging leaders, just like you. It may seem like everyone else has got it all figured out, and you're feeling like you're a step behind, like you're missing something. But no worries. We all have to start somewhere. The hike to the top of the mountain starts at the bottom. If you've started looking at coaching, you already know that it can get very expensive. And that price tag can feel real intimidating. You might start doubting yourself or doubting the process. Maybe you think it's too early in my career journey to start thinking about coaching, or maybe you feel like you just have a job. You're just paying the bills, and so your career is just not at the top of your priority list right now. And maybe that means coaching isn't. By the end of this episode, you'll know that number 1, coaching is for you, wherever you are. Number 2, you'll know where to start. Number 3, you'll know what to look for. And number 4, how to find a coach who's the right fit for where you are right now. Hopefully you've had a chance to do the homework from episode 1. That's going to set you up real nice for this next part. So let's get started. Identify and communicate your current needs. As an emerging leader, think about what your goals are. Try not to get caught up in short-term, intermediate, and long-term goals, at least not right now. But there's a reason why you're listening to this podcast. You know that there's something else to obtain, something that's going to get you to the next level or to the next platform. Maybe you've had a peer or a trusted colleague share with you where they think some of your leadership skills could be developed, like building confidence when speaking or speaking up during important meetings, especially when you're the person who has really helpful and impactful information. Maybe your goals will be centered around handling difficult conversations or conflict. Maybe you'd like to feel better prepared for your first leadership role. And some of you should really think about learning how to manage up or across or down, depending on where you are. Leadership is not a title. It's a mindset. It's a choice. It's an intention. So even if you don't supervise people, or you're not a manager, or you're not a team lead, there are still ways to exercise leadership wherever you are. If you could grow in just one leadership skill this year, what would it be? And I don't care if it's November. That just means you don't have a lot of time left to think about what that answer could be. But start that step. Start really thinking about just one thing. It could be one big thing, or it could be one small thing. And try to think critically about what that means to you. So rather than just saying, I want to be a better communicator, think about what that sounds like, what that looks like, and what that feels like. Speaking with confidence, or actual voice training, how to use your voice. I'll give you an example. If you haven't noticed already, I have a pretty monotone voice. It was a long time before I saw my voice as powerful. I knew that my voice was different. I knew that my delivery was different, at least from my peers. Very polished and exacting. That doesn't always translate well in a leadership role. That doesn't mean it couldn't be one of my greatest leadership assets. I just needed some coaching. I needed to have the confidence behind my voice that my voice already exhibited. People would tell me, you speak so well, and you're really easy to understand, and you're so poised. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know if any of this means anything to anyone. I don't feel like the expert. Is what I'm saying meaningful? Is it important? Do people find me important? And I just kind of ended up in that spiral of negativity instead of taking a moment to breathe and say, okay, well, if people are telling me this is an asset that I have, it's a talent that I have, it's something that I can wield, how do I become more confident in that? Through coaching, I was able to listen critically to feedback about how I use my voice and what I can do to practice using it. My thought process, how I can become more concise. I have a tendency to ramble. And being monotone and rambling put together does not make for strong leadership competency. So now that we've talked a little bit about identifying and communicating your current needs, step 2, know where to look. A lot of organizations have resources for professional development. Some companies provide leadership development programs to access coaching. Sometimes you'll get to choose your own coach, and other times you can select from a cadre of coaches. In other instances, you may find online platforms like LinkedIn are great places to search for leadership coaches. It's also a great place to check recommendations, tap your online network to see who's using coaching and how do they feel about their coach or the company or organization that they are accessing coaching through. There are also professional networks. Check your alumni associations. There are young professionals groups, small business incubators. You might even try your local chamber of commerce and other small businesses local to your area that may offer coaching services. And of course, don't forget, Sage Consulting Partners is built just for you, the emerging leader. Step 3, what to look for. You want a coach who has relevant experience. Not every coach is for every stage. You want to find someone who knows how to help emerging leaders, not just executives. You want to find out about your coach's approach. Do they work with a lot of structured tools and exercises? Or are they more conversational? What should you expect in a session or a conversation? You want to ask them what their process looks like. Do they offer a certain number of sessions? Do they guarantee any results? What the time commitment might be like outside of a session. Find out about their style. Do they focus on mindset, skill building, or both? You might want to ask how they have helped someone like you reach their first leadership role, or you might want them to summarize some of their more salient success stories of how they've helped emerging leaders. Step 4, administer the vibe check. Remember, you are not shopping for a new friend or a new brunch buddy. You're looking for someone who challenges you, stretches you, and supports you. Some key finds that this coach may be a good fit for you is that you feel comfortable sharing openly and honestly with this individual. They ask you questions that make you think differently, and you leave that initial discovery session feeling clearer, not more confused. Make sure you take advantage of free discovery sessions to explore your coaching relationship. In your first session with a coach, that's your time to interview them. That is your opportunity to ask questions, to share a little bit about yourself, see what their reactions are. Ask as many questions as you need to about how they can help you. Because that's exactly what coaching is all about. It's all about you. It doesn't have anything to do with the coach's ego, with the coach's goals, with the coach's objectives, unless their goals and objectives are all about helping you. So, to recap, know what your goals are and be able to communicate them. Search in the right places. Ask for referrals. Talk to your peers. Talk to your boss. Look for a coach with relevant experience. You want someone who is accessible in the ways that you need them to be accessible. And then test the chemistry. See if their vibe matches yours. Once you've done all of that, you might end up with 2 or 3 coaches that you think could really help you achieve your goals. Well, at that point, it comes down to who's available and how much are you willing to invest. Remember, this is an investment in your future. I'm not here to tell you how much is too much to pay for coaching or how little is too little. But I will say, anything free tends not to carry the same value as something that you invest your resources in. Let me get into that a little bit more. When you see that something is for free, it should give you pause. You should assess, okay, well, I see what's in it for me, but what's in it for the other party? For example, I ran an online contest for free coaching sessions, and I thought really deeply about the optics of what that looked like. I knew that it would be interesting to those who wanted to try coaching for the first time, but to anyone who has experienced coaching before, may have thought, free coaching must not be that great to be giving it away. My objective was to introduce mini coaching sessions, small tidbits, appetizers, if you will, something to kind of whet the palate, particularly for emerging leaders to experience what a coaching session could be. And the goals and objectives would be extremely short term. What's important is that I was extending myself to prove a concept. Of course, in the hopes that the individual would see the value, whether they decide to invest with me at some point or with another coach. If you're exploring coaching, add Sage Consulting Partners to your list. I know what it's like to lead without the title, and I know how challenging it can be to believe in yourself when you know that there are things that you kind of don't have or don't feel prepared for this journey. My goal is to help you and others step into leadership with clarity and confidence. Thank you for tuning in to No Title Needed. I hope today's episode gave you practical tools and fresh perspective to help you grow as a leader, title or not. If you found this episode valuable, make sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you know another emerging leader who could benefit, please share this platform with them. It might be exactly the encouragement they need today. Remember, leadership isn't about a position. It's about influence, growth, and how you show up. And you don't need a title to start leading with confidence. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and keep leading.